So libraries collect materials in a variety of languages and scripts. Languages that do not use the Latin-based alphabetic script, such as Arabic, may pose some challenges in their discovery. Romanization was, and still is, one of the important paths taken by libraries in order to incorporate data describing these resources within their catalogs. However, this does pose some challenges from different aspects. On the other hand, introducing and including vernacular script in library system has been the ultimate and favored path for many in the library communities. In my presentation today, I will try to discuss and cover the points listed on this slide. Before diving into our topic, let's take a quick snapshot of the presence of Arabic records in OCLC. The first graph displays the number of records in Arabic language with Arabic script with comparison with records that are coded as Arabic language and records that have Arabic script but not necessarily in Arabic. OCLC records are created by different libraries and vendors from different countries around the world. The second graph displays the number of Arabic records according to the language of cataloging. In my search, I picked 3 languages: English, Arabic, and German. Records in OCLC are encoded at different levels, ranging from minimal level to full level cataloging level. Listed on the slide are some common levels. They vary in regard to fullness and quality. The most complete records are the one created by PCC program, which is BibCo for monograph and Concert for serials. Coded as blank, they are notable for their complete authority work, both descriptive and subject, as well as the call number from a recognized system, such as the Library of Congress Classification System or DOE. When creating non-Latin scripts, libraries in the US have to follow these practices. Romanize the non-Latin data as instructed by the RDA, which is our cataloging code, and the LCPCC guidelines for the PCC libraries. We must follow the ALALC romanization tables. We use the MARC model A in the record, which is a vernacular and transliterations in parallel linked field, but we use the model B for authority record. We add the non-Latin scripts in unlinked field. The field 066, which is a system supplied, identify the presence of any character set for non-Latin scripts in the record. According to the PCC guidelines, adding script is strictly optional, but highly encouraged. Here is a visual of how Model A would look like in the record with both vernacular and transliteration displayed in linked field and coded as a in library system. And here's a visual of how a Model B with a simple multi-script record would look like in authority data. The vernacular appears in non-linked field. So what are some of the advantages of romanization? The romanized data in catalog is used by different library staff for various tasks. Thanks to romanization, we have the ability to integrate the data of non-Latin materials into the library-wide processing and handling procedures, such as acquisition, circulation, and interlibrary loan. Not all library staff are required to have a specialized language knowledge. With romanization, we have the ability to find resources even if we don't know the language. Some library systems do not support all non-Latin scripts. However, romanization is not easy nor simple, especially for certain language. Lack of consistency is one of the biggest challenges. We encounter in our shared catalog a considerable amount of inconsistently or incorrectly romanized data. Romanization is not perfect. It seems that there is a lack of consensus with the rules of practices of Romanization for certain languages within different community and backgrounds. The different practices have led to a record duplication in the shared files. Some criticism has been voiced regarding the ALA-LC Romanization rules as being ambiguous, complex, and unrepresentative. There are different Romanization tables available and used around the world and reflected in our shared catalog. All this can create patron confusion in both discovering and correctly citing the library materials. Also, providing training documentation for Romanization can be really time-consuming for certain languages, and that applies for both staff and users. In cataloging, missing the correct Romanization, especially within the first few words of the title, can jeopardize the visibility of the record. Each language may have its own issue and challenges. For Arabic, following certain rules in the ALA-LC Romanization tables can be really challenging. It requires special training and skills to master the table of the Arabic language. It's time consuming with searching and locating the record. ISBN is not always present or even correct on the resources. There are different sources to consult. Some sources, such as the Hanswehr, suggest two Romanized forms for certain words. Romanizing certain titles requires some familiarity with the culture. Arabic language relies on tashkil or tahrik, and this has a big effect on the Romanization process. Tashkil or vocalization is adding the different diacritics to Arabic letters in order to indicate the actual pronunciation. Arabic texts are mostly written without tashkil in library resources. Fluent speakers are able to automatically fill in these diacritics themselves. The three words at the bottom of this slide look identical, but they're not. They have different meaning and they are pronounced differently. Arabic is a highly inflected language and Romanization requires a good grammatical skills. Many Romanization errors are the result of a lack of a solid grammar knowledge. This slide displays some example of the challenges of the lack of tashkil with Romanizing Arabic metadata. It would be hard to decide whether the first word in green is majma' or mujamma' or mujammi'. Another related issue is the lack of the display of the hamza on alif with certain words, as it will affect the beginning vowel as a, u, or e. This situation may cause some errors if not proficient with the language. Example, ihkam or ahkam, i'lam or a'lam, ins or uns. The position and the visibility of the hamza matters. One of the big challenges with Romanization is inconsistency with Romanized data in the shared catalog. For example, certain words may be pronounced differently among native speakers. Example, as-sahafa or as-sihafa, azma or azama, صهيوني or صهيوني or صهيوني, رحلات or رحلات. We may encounter 2 or even 3 ways in Romanizing certain words in our dictionary, the Hanswehr dictionary, such as the word mutran, that it is presented in the dictionary as mutran, matran, or mitran. Another example is dawli and duali. Following one or the other may affect the discovery and cause split of records and eventually split of resources. Foreign words that are written in Arabic or are of Latin origin are also Romanized inconsistently and may also appear in varied orthographic, as it is the case with biography or anthropology. This inconsistency will be reflected in both the cataloging as well as the searching. Romanizing some Arabic title, such as the one on this slide, can be really challenging, especially when the cataloger is not familiar with Arabic grammar. For titles that are in colloquial Arabic, such as the one on the slide, the instruction is to follow the classical language as closely as possible. However, this may not be straightforward. Catalogers may romanize it differently, causing inconsistency and record duplication. They may also need to be familiar with the culture in order to be able to romanize titles such as these books by the famous Salam al-Rasi on Lebanese proverbs. Geographic names are often a challenge for Arabic catalogers as they may be written differently in resources or romanized variously. For example, the form of the name America in Arabic is romanized inconsistently as displayed on the slide. Same with Africa, that it may be displayed as Afriqia or Ifriqiya. Also, the form adopted in the name authority file is not necessarily the most commonly used by Arabic speakers. For example, the Rabat, the capital of Morocco, the name authority file adopted the Rabat form, but it is mostly known as Al-Ribat. Same with Erbil or Erbil. This creates confusion among catalogers and users. So, to overcome these challenges, catalogers need to learn the Arabic LC romanization table well and familiarize themselves with all its rules. Check the Hanswehr dictionary, even if you think you know how the word is said. Consistency is important. Check the Arabic cataloging manuals maintained by the cataloging committee, which includes some good lists to help the cataloger. Check the shared catalog for consistency. In some instance, add a variant in 246, a variant title in the 246. For more challenging issue, just post the question on one of the Mela listserv asking for assistance. Adding script to our library data would be the answer to solving these problems, as it will provide better precision in discovery and more efficient, less time-consuming cataloging practices. Metadata will also be easier to comprehend and shared globally. Romanizing proper names and mainly personal names can be very challenging, especially because, again, of the lack of diacritics on personal name in sources, as catalogers cannot always predict how a name is pronounced. Would the name read be Hassan or Husn? Catalogers might need to consult other resources and go beyond the book in hand or the resource in hand to identify the pronunciation of a name before creating a name authority record. Names may also be pronounced differently depending on the origin of the author, and the romanized form chosen by the cataloger affect the discovery. In the second example on the slide, the cataloger has romanized the name of my undergraduate professor as Mansa, which is different than his actual Lebanese family name, Munassa. Another issue with normalization. Searching for Salim in romanized form can retrieve two different names, Salim and Salim. North African names have their own challenges with romanization. One such challenge is that pronunciation may be influenced by the French languages. They also have other issues and difficulties. Romanizing foreign Latin names written in Arabic script may also be very challenging. As you can see on the slide, the name of William Shakespeare has been romanized inconsistently. To solve these issues, more variants are recommended, and adding script variant can be really the key to discovery. We encounter authors who write in both Arabic and Persian with identical script forms. The romanization table rules are different for each language, so having the script in the record will allow for the discovery of the entity and prevent any duplication. And talking about duplication, duplicate authority records are one of the consequences of all these issues. The Arabic NACO funnel receives several merge requests on a monthly basis. And here are some examples of the real duplicates. And here I would like to take the advantage of thanking the Library of Congress, Michael, who helped the NACO funnel in solving these duplicates. This is also another good illustration of how different romanization caused the creation of 3 name authority records for the same entity, because catalogers pronounce the name differently due to the lack of diacritics of the resources or just the unfamiliarity with the name and the culture. This means that before the merge, records for this author were split under 3 forms of the names, and all this affect the discovery of Arabic resources. And here's another example of how much variant and cross-reference would be needed for certain names. And with this slide summarizes the situation with the discovery of personal names in our catalog and how we can improve the discovery of our resources. And with that, I will finish my presentation. Thank you for your time and attention, and I'll be happy to take any question.